Hey y'all. Hey. It's your girl. This YouTube a little different because I'm just sitting up in my room like Monica. Sitting up in my room. And of course the pillows and the cherry blossom still pushing my big issues. But anyway, little dating chronicles. So I'm talking to a guy the other day. I've learned to stop calling the guys that I talk to my friends because not all of them are my friends. I consider them my friends, but they don't consider themselves my friend. Anyway, so I'm talking to a guy, and we get around to the part of the conversation about like why we're single. And I asked him, well, why are you single? And he says, because women are not submissive anymore, and he requires and he needs a submissive woman. And he goes on to list all the things that women do, like the women want to club all the time. They want to do brunch all the time. They want to drink. They want to smoke. They this, that, and that. They really have no desire to be wives, and they have no desire to be, married because they only want to do this and they only want to do that. And I'm listening, and I can see where he's coming from. He's pushing some big issues, so I'm listening. So we get around to the point where he asks me, why am I single at this point? If you're a good woman, why are you single? And I tell him I'm single for the same reason you're single. Because men are not submissive these days. He gets a little offended, like, what you talking about? Like, he felt like I might have been trying to one-up him or something in the conversation, which I really wasn't. So when he allowed me to explain, this is what I explained to him. I said, men are no longer submissive. Like, men don't submit to God. They don't submit to a higher power. They don't submit to their higher selves. They don't submit to their consciousness. They don't submit to their knowledge. They don't submit to their wisdom. They don't submit to their intuition. They don't submit to love. And we know that God is love and love is God. They don't submit to a lot of things. Matter of fact, they do submit to some things, but the things that they tend to submit to may be sex, drugs, money, So he goes, well, no, I'm talking about, your mama's supposed to teach you. Your mama's supposed to teach you how to be with a man. A man doesn't have to be taught how to be with a woman. I'm like, no. What your mom and your grandmothers teach you is how to be subservient. The mere fact that you're using the word teach and submission in the same reference lets me know that you're not talking about actual submission. You see, subservient is to be taught. You can teach a child how to sit in a classroom for 8 hours and shut up and be quiet and do what you ask them to do. You can teach an adult how to sit on a job for 8 hours and do what they're taught to do efficiently and proficiently. These are subservient things. That's what's being taught. And the word submission means to surrender your will over to someone. See, the word submission was always individualized and personalized and formulated to fit you. It was never meant to be generalized as something that was expected for women to do for men. It was individualized, personalized for the woman to do for her husband. And it says, wives, submit unto your husband as you do the Lord. Well, what do we know about the Lord? We know that the Lord is humble. He has humility. He's powerful. He's gracious. He's kind. He's loving. He's caring. He's considerate. The Lord is all of these things. But you, who I need to submit to, don't submit to nothing but negativity, gossip, your lower self, your lower vibration, your lower body, your lower power, drugs. You submit to everything but the will of God. So I'm supposed to submit to you as I do God, but you don't reflect or resemble God. So it's hard for me to submit to you because what I'm going to end up submitting to is your iniquities, your demons, your problems, and your situations. So when we talk about biblical, the word submission is not a general term that's supposed to be done by all women. Subservient, maybe. All the men and these wives are submissive. No, they're subservient. They've been taught to cook. They've been taught to clean. And the men keep going, well, you a wife, can you cook? Whores can cook. Whores can cook. Whores can cook. Rambunctious women can cook. Outrageous women can cook. I know some women that you can't trust far as you can see them, but they can cook you 5 meals a day. And then you'll get in a relationship with a woman like that who's cooking and cleaning because she was taught to do those subservient things and think that you found you a submissive woman. So he goes on to tell me about how the man is the leader and he's the head and the woman this, that, and I 100% agree. That's why the man is supposed to lead in submission. That's why he's supposed to lead. The example of submission was always supposed to be led by the man. See, the woman was supposed to see him in his God-like aura as he submits to the will. See, he has already submitted his will, his human nature will over to God, a higher power. Even if you don't believe in God, his higher self, he was supposed to have already surrendered his will over. And when I see this man who has already surrendered his will over, then he leads me into submission. Yeah. See, I'm led by you. You exercise, you eat right, you study, you're knowledgeable, you're wisdom, you have a conscience, you have a morale, you have morals and standards, you're an upstanding person. That means that you have already submitted and surrendered over your will to a higher cause, a higher power, a higher issue. And when I see you doing it, I'm supposed to know that I can surrender my will to you. You look like God. You look like the Lord. And if I'm supposed to be submitting to you like I do God, you supposed to resemble, reflect, and look like somebody I can surrender my will over to. But you handle life with wrath, negativity, lower self, and you blame it on just being a man. Men cheat, and this is what men do, and us men, and this is what men do. Well, I'm supposed to submit to you like I do God, and you just want to be a man. To make it make sense. So I'm single for the same reason you single. Women are not submissive. Neither is the man. Women ain't surrendering over their wills. The men not surrendering theirs either. If you don't believe what I'm saying, I'm going to give you an example. Back in the day when I used to be a wild cherry, not just cherry, pushing my big issues, wild cherry, I used to have a problem with being disrespectful to men. I had a problem with calling men bitches. I was awful. I was a snare to a man. I wasn't trying to be nobody's wife. I can't blame it on trauma or whatever, but it's just what I had been doing, and it was what I was accustomed to. That man looked at me and he said, hey, listen, wait a minute now. Inside this relationship, inside of this union, I will never disrespect you by calling you a bitch. I love you, and I care about you, and I respect you, and I will never call you a bitch. And therefore, I will not tolerate you disrespecting me and calling me one. Y'all, I went and fixed myself and worked on myself just to be in company of that man. That man actually was a leader. He wasn't saying, I'm a leader, and I'm a leader because I'm the man and I'm supposed to lead. He led. He said, this is what I would never do to you because